ban Habana. We've seen that against Shaiko, I believe, as well.
So here's our our. I don't forget map. How do I even forget that? My brain just sometimes does not function. But we're a border. Don't.
I didn't say it sometimes.
Border and Consulate will be the two maps that are banned. We'll be left with Clubhouse for this map.
All right. Well, this is speaking of SSG and maps to fight on. Last time Rogue played this when they were Giants last season, it was against Empire, so they lost pretty badly. It was 7-3, I believe.
How does he
Empire.
know this? Everything just comes off the top of his head, man.
Because Empire always wins Clubhouse, pretty much.
Unless it's all landed or Ollie. 55% here for Rogue, draw 7%, and you guys believe that BDS have a 38% shot of winning the game. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
fair enough. Fair enough. BDS have had one good showing. Let's get in the game, though. Let's see them beat each other up. So I think we are ready here. All right. So, the operator bans here. Will we see the usual stuff or something interesting? I think it would be funny to see them ban Habana instead of Maverick, just to mess with Shaiko.
So BDS, the first team to ban, and they're going to take out a Thatcher.
Maybe. Should ban Jaeger too, just again to mess with Shaiko.
Can we give Rogue 4 bans? As a Maverick. So they banned Hungary from the map.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, Maverick and Hungary, the similarities are there, Chad.
They really are, actually. He looks quite a bit like Maverick.
So, is it going to be a target ban? No, it's going to be Capitao, general ban on the map, of course.
We saw that earlier today as well. Maverick and Capitao were the bans for the first Clubhouse match as well. So, not a surprise there.
No. First operator on the attack for Rogue. Going to remove the Echo. I would assume BDS will be the ones to take out the Echo. And the Mira for Rogue.
Very likely.
Yeah.
Already, the prophecy is coming true.
Wow, Mira being banned in an EU Pro League game? What is this?
Eventually, they're just going to have to delete Mira so people can ban something else.
There you
Echo,
go. Honestly,
poor guy.
like, come on, man. Just.
I love it, too, when players call for operators to be buffed. And then it's like, okay, we'll buff them. And so they just get banned then. You're like, so we buffed them to the point where now you can't play them. So hope you enjoy the buff you can't enjoy.
Yeah, but you kind of pushed it the other side, man. Like,
I know, it's just funny to see that, like, the result of that, like in ranked, for example, is you ask for an operator to be stronger and then you don't get to play him because he's just banned.
Or you ask for an operator to be balanced like the Jackal, and then everybody keeps banning him regardless because they don't know that he actually got changed.
I think it's honestly, I think it's just people still don't want to deal with it, even with the changes. I don't think the changes were enough that people are like, oh, I'm fine getting pinged now. I understand they definitely made it more balanced, but just people just don't like it. I guess don't like getting pinged. So we'll see them go Cash first rather than Church, which is always a risky play in my book because Church is a good site. Mostly because with sites like Cash, you can get picked early much more often than you're going to get picked turtling down in the basement of Church. But at the same time, it also means the attackers live the whole time, more often than not. So you end up with a 5v5 in the last minute or less. Whereas Cash, you get a bit more back and forth. You're going to see castling up the server window from Inshiro there to make sure they can play a little more safely inside server. But they're not bringing anything to trick the wall. They have a single mute jammer they can put there. But, I don't know. That is, I guess, giving up the wall, essentially, because there's a Thatcher, meaning there's not going to be any kind of mute tricking. So, essentially, they're giving up the wall for the price of one EMP. So, if you're Rogue and if you know that, you know what the operators are playing, just take advantage of that. Just take it for free. There is one ADS to help Rafael, as well as the Maestro Evil Eye at the top to help him just provide extra intel that he can look around. I actually kind of like the position of that one versus the other side, in the sense that chances are it might not be looking the direction Thatcher wants, if he wants to take it out from below. But you never know.
So now, Rise is going to prepare his Kelvin key and is going to open up a singular entry into the garage. Here we go. Both our throats are really feeling this.
Yeah, it's the weather, man.
It really is the weather, so we need to take stuff forward. But Shaiko is going to get the first kill. There's the Jaeger. He's low in HP, but he got a huge one on the Habana. One of the two are Preachers.
Now they're glad they brought two. There's Diffuser down, though, and he's afraid of being baited into it.
Bomb located by
Thankfully for his sake, it doesn't end up being the case. And he's got to rotate quite a bit around, though, just to get up safely again.
Second player with the AR-33 that we see today, the Thatcher. It's a good gun. It really depends on what you want to do. I really like the Air 33 ACOG angle grip combo.
It's really good in a lot more close-up fights than you're going to get with the slower L85 ADS.
Oh yeah, the L85 is very consistent. Oh, no, you can't shoot the backpack, Corey. Should know that.
He misses those days. But speaking of missing days, Rise is going to be missing the rest of this round.
RXWD, a good shot for him. Taking no damage in the engagement. You're going to confirm that the Maestro is here, but that's something that's kind of public knowledge at this point.
Yeah, you saw his backpack. You already knew.
He's still there, by the way.
Yeah. FYI, now that 2 of you have died, he's still there. I mean, at this point, obviously, the dead players should be watching drones that should be set up to give these players some sort of chance. They did manage to land and possibly stun the Evil Eye, but Maestro's just on top of it. Shaiko actually getting the kill before getting traded. Rafael able to trade one back as the Maestro onto Corey, and it all falls apart as Rafael gets the last one onto Rips BDS. The collapse from the inside out. You can't take that Maestro out. He gonna get you instead.
I don't know about this one, man.
So backpack seeing through appropriate because he was carrying that round pretty well towards the end. Although Shaiko did manage to pick up 2 as well. A good round, a great start for BDS on defense. We talk about this being a little of a defensive-sided map, so it's not a huge deal. But good on them to pull off cash, and they can go church. They are going to possibly bring the Mozzie here to slow down a little bit of droning. Now, if you can slow down droning upstairs, especially if this alibi is going to be roaming as well, that will make it a little more difficult for them to get extra time. Because, you know, you get a routine down for clearing top floor pretty fast in the middle floor. But at the same time, if there's obstacles to that, all of a sudden that can really slow down because you can't afford to just be like, there's probably no one on the other side of that pest. Yeah. There probably is. So, Alibi may or may not pay off, but double hard breachers coming out again along with a Thatcher and 2 soft destructors. This is a pretty good composition all around to deal with most things there. The ban rate, actually Maverick, a bit lower than I would have expected. Capital actually pretty high. As we said before, very strong on this map, so it's not a huge surprise, but Maverick's slipping through a bit more.
5 seconds remaining.
I guess teams are used to dealing with it a bit more now, and it does burn up quite a bit of time to use it. So it's not as quick as using any of the other breaching charges.
So you're always kind of asking the question of why Alibi and not Legion?
I do agree. I mean, and I feel like some people just have an affinity for the gun and the way Alibi plays.
I can get the point of view of, yeah, but you can get a shield, which is a very valid point. But in this case, Renshiro is not bringing that shield.
No, he's running impacts, yeah. Well, he's got the sort of secondary shotgun.
This is still a sight, though, that works well with the Alibi just because you have so many windows.
Especially when you got Shaiko roaming as well. You know he's got your back.
So we're trying to go through the mindset of why would you bring this up? What's the point of it?
Delay, delay, delay.
Exactly.
Especially with the Mozzie, probably putting some pests upstairs to help them out. They're really going to have to figure out what they're up against before they start to take it, and it's really slowing them down. The first minute spent, they actually took the middle floor instead of top down, just to, I guess, hope they could play this, because this is risky, man. Renshiro could potentially even shoot the breach charge off if he wants, but no, they're trying to peek it to make sure he doesn't. Rafael does manage to find aces, though, and that's the Thatcher down. That means a lot more hatches.
Oh, Renshi drops into Rips and gets the headshot instantly, snapping, not even using the angle grip on the MX4. It's a pretty huge advantage right now with Corey solo on HP. He has managed to enter into church. There's the kill that he's looking for. Unfortunately, he just does a bit of damage to a Lems. Smokes will be thrown out, but Lems will take more damage. 3 smokes are still in his back pocket. So RXWD will try to rotate back on site. Renshiro is going to get spotted. They can't fight against him. There you go, going for the reload. He's just going to be wasting even more and more time as 3 players in with so little health. Finally, Alems will get 1 kill as Renshiro drops the second, using the impact grenade still left in his back pocket. Corey will eat the last bit of damage as Shaiko rotates back into church. Rogue failed their assault, and it seems like they were everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah. That was the problem with not clearing them out. They wanted to get in and start opening things up to buy themselves some extra time as they deal with the roamers, or possibly even just ignore the roamers. And they did to some extent getting into church the way they did, but from there, Just play after play coming out from the roamers of BDS. Absolutely well played on their part. And now we see why they were going for that very heavy roam strat. And we even saw the impact of that impact nade being brought instead of the shield. Definitely taking advantage of it to rotate quickly. We are going to see more shield play here from the Goyo. The Mozzie being 6th pick 2 instead of the Maestro. They are going to have some wall denial with the Mutant Bandit. Possibly a mute for the Hatch as well.
Attackers need to locate.
So we saw that before. If they want to. I'm sorry, what did I say the Hatch? This is a gym. I was thinking church. But this will work out hopefully well for them because we saw, as I said, some good uses of these Goyo shields previously. And they can also conceal some of those mute jammers. Can be used to protect those from easy catches. Shout out to Reaper for some of those strats on that. Just how annoying those can be to deal with when they're hidden behind a shield. Something we also saw Tempo Storm do on their diving defenses on villain. Trash wall going to get jammed by the fell.
5 seconds remaining.
Making sure they don't have easy access to construction outside of maybe the window.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
The usual rotates in barbed wire. Shaiko probably going to be on a roam at some point here, depending on how he decides to rotate. Yeah, I think very likely.
I would be.
He's one of those joystick-style Jaeger players. And you know, if you're a good fragger and you can make it work, I mean, you see him up there with a foul. 3 and 3.
Checo getting the important kills in the rounds, but the rest of the team, especially Renshiro, he was so instrumental in the previous round. The fact that he stayed alive for so long in gym, then dropping into pool.
Oh,
Not sure about that one.
2 seconds longer.
Corey, come on.
Free drone?
I assumed that the drone was just destroyed there thanks to the
Very
EMP.
likely, yeah.
So, unfortunately, it's a loss of a drone, which you might be thinking sitting at home that, who needs a drone? I can just slap him with my gun. That's not how it works in Pro League. You drone first, then you kill. Come on. We all listened to what Joystick said.
Shaiko definitely is playing, as I said.
This is a default.
Yeah, they didn't shoot.
Bomb has been located.
All right.
Oh. Rogue?
Make sure to give Rogue a bad time on Twitter about this, please.
Come on, man.
They need a solid reminder.
If they get a kill, like honestly, if BDS get a kill off of this,
Was there 2 up?
Device is going dark.
I swear I thought I saw a second default cam up for a second there.
so here's the Goyo shield that was taken out. Well, right now BDS repositioning all their players because they know that they don't have to deal with anything. Oh my.
You almost looked over at it as well.
Jesus!
Yeah, this is tunnel vision.
Man, was macht du? What is this? There's one kill for Shaiko, and he turns back and he's still alive. They know where he's at. Finally, there's the kill from Rips, but he's already down on the floor. And that's Rise, actually.
Lems was waiting for so long checking that default cam for that peek out, too. He's just waiting for the right time. He knows someone's right on his window as well.
You can just have Shaiko giving him the information in the
That's
meantime.
right. Watch that cam for me, Shaiko.
The default cam.
Yeah, who would have thought? A pickup does happen, though, and it looks like Rise is going to rise again, but for how long? 20 HP? Buys you maybe an extra 10 seconds of life before you get slaughtered again.
Might be all it takes, but right now I'm not sure if that default cam is still up. Regardless,
Probably is.
it's still up.
Yep, you see it blinking?
Oh my god!
Thank you, Marcio.
Come on, man!
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
This is
Oh my. This is not going to get destroyed at this point. There's a moot point, as you say, but Rafael is going to fall down. It's a good play there from Rips, low on HP, but he's doing work. Renshiro's down as well. Alems is watching for rotations, drops inside, he gets one! No, Aces! Turns the corner and is able to get him. Can you stop the diffuser from being planted? RXWD, no, the wrong one! He pulls out the shotgun, but no, there's too much on his plate! And Rogue, through all of this!
I don't know what's more embarrassing than the default cam being up or the fact that they still won the round off gunfights. Yeah. That definitely was not my favorite round.
This is like watching Team 1 in MIBR. This is... No, man. Like,
No, man, this isn't it. This is not the play, Chief.
it is not the one. I just got a call, and it was Chief telling me that it wasn't the play.
Yeah. But funny, I got the VFX. Well, they'll try Cash again. Jim was their third bomb site, the one they're not so great at apparently, but Rogue just kind of ham-fisted their way in. Just a lot of one angles, a lot of window shots. Actually taking advantage of opening up the bottom of the bathroom to take down Shaiko. It's just a lot of misplays from BDS. Even LM spending so much time watching the cam and not even getting any kills off of it. It's a little awkward to watch, to say the least. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of that round. There's 3 cams, I believe, outside, and you can shoot all of them from the roof. Like the safest place on the map. So, yeah, that happened. But either way, I'm sure that will be a one-off thing, right? Never see that happen again. They're going to be going back to cash, as I said. A good site for them. That was their primary site. They won quite well. Some of that due to them just not really being able to do anything about the Maestro here up on top of the rafters. And this is always a tough thing to deal with when you got ADSs, you got Evil Eyes to watch with. You see the ADS as well near the window for anyone trying to throw utility that way. Shaiko and Rafael definitely doing some work. Renshiro as well. Rips the main player there on Rogue. Roman putting down a Claymore. They are going to be trying to time this well to stop any kind of bandit tricking. As this time they are not giving up the garage wall for free like they did last time with the gate. So that's good to see that they're changing that up a little bit. Shaiko probably got a little bit greedy. Taking about 25 HP in damage. Interesting barricade there on the doorway into logistics. So here comes the timing now. It's all between Corey, Aces, and Rips to coordinate this as a 3-man play. There's the wooden barricade there to make it a little more difficult to deal with him, but this he's just going to fake one out first, try and see if anyone wants to peek garage. They need to coordinate this perfectly. He's actually going to catch the bandit. The bandit was starting to move away, but I think he would have made it back in time. Trying to time this right. And then Zofia needs to do the thing. Where is the...
Stuns!
Rips! Rips, where are you?
What are you doing?
Rips just cost his team a thermite breach charge. What do you... Stop switching. What do you... Don't go back to your drone. Just time this correctly. You don't need to see anything to do this. If this works again, this is going to be like default cam level again. There we go.
There you go, finally. It didn't even pop, actually. It didn't do anything till
No, he just ran off.
There was the barricade still, and it actually popped in the hallway instead. He could have actually held that.
You got to get the angle correct when you're playing that Zofia role. Rips needs to work on that for sure. Something for him to practice besides shooting default cams.
Activating drone.
They will be pressuring the site now that they've got it open. They've also got connector wall open. That's good timing to have both open around the same time, but they still only have a minute left. So a decent position in that grenade, forcing Shaiko to his death. Also increases that position. Looking pretty good for play here.
This grenade on the side. Gonna fire in from below. Rips. There's one impact coming out. Doing a lot of damage actually to LMs. Still stuck behind the bomb. Our XWD will rotate down to try, actually in support of the Legion, to contest that Zofia. But Rips has already gotten the kill from below. Actually, he already went back up. Still on the rappel. RX is trying to shut down the play into cash, but the wall from construction is already open, so it's relatively easy to just walk in. But Rafael peeks at the right moment. Garage still not clear. Rips will find one and rise for the second on RXWD. Renshiro can stop this diffuser from being planted, but he does not have any information, and both impact grenades go to no avail. Here we are. It's Rise to find Renshiro and end the round. Rogue again forcing their way into the site.
They're winning
with a victory.
Just a lot of gunfights. It seems like BDS, like when it comes to gunfights, really rely on Shaiko a lot to win those. And then when he gets naded out and it's not a gunfight for him, doesn't work out so great. So they really kind of surrounded BDS, trapped them into positions, and then just summarily executed them. Rips with a couple good plays to make up for his lack of proficiency on Zofia there in terms of timing. Doing quite well with the gun though, just fine. We'll go back down to Church here. BDS not wanting to try cash again. It's too bad too, because they were in a better position to defend it that time, but maybe the mute did work better for them the first time in terms of denying intel. There was a few misplays though, like Rogue just kind of jumping in without really doing anything about the Maestro, ending up in, I believe it was Ace's death. But now they will again try to play down Church. Now last time, we saw a pretty heavy roam. We saw a great presence from the Alibi, from Shaiko on the Jaeger. It really threw a monkey wrench in their plans but I don't know if we'll see that this time. The extra shields, to me, make me think they're going to be playing a little bit more downstairs. They've also got the Legion Goo Mines to slow things down along with that,
10 seconds
and the
remaining.
Kaid to be able to slow down the hatch play. Fortunately, there is the Thatcher, so it is going to be tricky to really do much to deny the hatches outside of just force him to use a little bit of that EMP utility.
And defuse the bomb.
But you can, of course, impact trick kitchen hatch, and they do just that. They are looking to slow things down with wooden barricades, at least. A little miscoordination there on it, but they managed to get it back in time on the bathroom, or the bar wall, bar door. Rise just trying to head to a safe place. You might use a breach charge to get through that wall.
Yeah, and he will. So he can just walk in from the jacuzzi. It's a good position. The G8 as well in play. I'd assume that has the angle grip.
Yeah, it's become the standard now, which is it's interesting to see because the angle grip was introduced quite a while ago.
Just, I think
it's like bullet holes, right? Bullet holes have always been in the game, but now they're just really part of the game. All of a sudden, 4 years later,
they're not. I mean, I don't know what is it. In the last 2 weeks, they haven't been as big of a deal as
people
they
got
were
sick
at
of
the
them.
end of the last season, right?
Maybe people are just sick of dealing with them. They're like, okay, fine, I won't use them anymore.
Honestly, I'm completely fine with that because
It's like Lion, just no one really plays them very much anymore.
so here's the drone. It's gonna get thrown in by Hicks. It's gonna drone into the main hallway. Spot the usual. There's barbed wire. Is that a double soft wall from 90? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
SpaghettiOs.
that might not come back to bite them, but they probably needed the reinforcement elsewhere. You don't usually do that unless you don't have a spare.
Breach charges activated. Firing.
I don't know where they used it, but I'd want to look at that later on in our own analysis of this game. Alems, though, will find Corey, as Corey's definitely not having the best of days today. Flashbang's going to get thrown in downstairs as Hicks. Oh, there's the nitro!
Forget impact tricking. Just blow them up.
I actually love seeing players
Just the ragdoll being thrown through the air.
Yeah, basically. How is that wall half open in the way that it is?
It looks
There's another nitro from Renshiro sailing above. Leaves Aces and Rips, his last two alive. They're using all of their utility, and there's a little left, except for that EMP and Renshiro. The perfect timing on the peak. Pretty sure there was some sort of bulletproof cam that was giving him the information. Shaiko resetting his aim here as he goes for the headshot level, looking for the Zofia. It's 1v1 against the Rips, and Rips will rip through Shaiko. Looking for 4 more here for Rogue to have a chance in the round.
Yeah. He's been quite good on that M762, but finding 4 here in this position where he's literally walking down a tunnel of death, like, yeah.
A bomb has been
Blue is an
located.
accurate description of his mood here.
Dabba-dee-dabba-da. Oh, Rips is in on his own. He finds another headshot on Tarafal. He's got 12 seconds to make the dream happen. He's got so many angles to deal with a goo mine right in his foot. He's going to turn around maybe and keep on firing. The hip fire as he tries to find the headshot on the Legion. But RSWD is still well and truly alive. The Goyo shields end up working well for BDS.
A valiant effort by Rogue, but BDS playing Turtle that round instead. Definitely a smart choice. And that's what we commonly see. If teams are going to try a roam on Church, it's almost always a one and done. You kind of do it the first time. The exception, I think, is teams like SSG, who will sometimes do it a bit more consistently and doesn't always work. But it is riskier to do in that you could lose a lot of people doing it because just their inability to rotate back to site because there's too many places to cut them off. We will see them now go back to cash, though, as they don't want to go to gym because that was not very successful. RXWD going to sneak in that bandit. Now they have the bandit and the mute. So, we'll see if they can get that wall
Protect your
open.
bombs from being
The
defused
mute jammer
by
actually
attackers.
might be useful for jamming the drone they keep trying to drive through to see what's going on with the bandit on the wall. Not a big deal, but extra little detail they can take advantage of. So they are going to mute jam it for the first one to just try and get them to burn a Thatcher EMP. And with how mistimed they've been sometimes on this, that might be enough. If they can get them to burn one, and they could even try and sort of mute trick it if they time it poorly. But that's much riskier to do. So that's the big question for Rogue. Is first off, well, the two questions. First off, will they shoot the default cam? And then question 2 is, will they get the wall open efficiently? Because if they do, that offers them extra utility to use elsewhere. So, for example, that Sophia has extra stun lifelines to use in other positions, like, say, for example, dealing with the Maestro up on the rafters. They can use that to stun him, although they have to clear ADSs first, and that's where some thermite flashbangs can come in handy. However, he's not going to be able to just throw them through the window to clear the ADS over there on the rafters, because there was also an ADS on the rafters near the window. So that extra bit of utility there helps make sure that a single operator cannot clear the ADSs for Maestro.
Okay. Is he going to be able to open up the wall? That's the question. Last time it actually took Rips even more maneuvering.
And at least he shot some people after.
Yep. They did the work. Got the round.
Yep. So far, though, BDS at the 1 point advantage. A lot of wooden barricades come up. I feel like wooden barricades are the new thing in vogue instead of bullet holes.
Everybody watch the tutorial video in the game.
Again, I love that the cyclical nature, as Kix puts it, of this meta in this game.
By the way, if you watch all 3 of those tutorial videos in the game, you get 200 renown per, and then if you finish them all, then you get an extra 200 renown.
Yeah, that's how you get operators cheaply and early. Ooh. Also, you get to play them in the road to SI.
So there's no Gizmot that was just used by Rips. I know that he's trying to destroy utility from below, but there you go. Finally, he's able to push the player out, but he used all of his utility in the meantime. You can't stun lock anybody in the back, and of course that ADS is going to make it doubly more difficult.
I imagine most of the EMPs, if not all of them, have been used now as well from Aces.
Can we check Aces for just a second?
On that Thatcher. Nope, we still got one left. That's going to be useful to try and clear that Evil Eye if they could deal with the ADS up there, which they probably could get that. If they can kill the Maestro, even better, being able to clear that. But it's the angles from the window, or from the breach hole, that they're going to be trying to use through the window.
Oh, good shot from Corey, but the refrag. Rafal with one more. Aces onto Rafal, and they're clearing out the map slowly. Renstro is downstairs on the castle. It doesn't have an impact, and there's Nitrocell that sails and will not connect. Renstro is known. His position is spotted, but he turns around the corner at the perfect time against Dofia. Damage done to Rise, but not enough to finish him off, and it leaves Alems and RXWD as the last 2 players alive. Grenade, one more of them here for Rise that he can use to enter onto the site. ADS that was cleared out before, and that's the one downside of having this setup with one soft wall. At least that soft wall can be contested by Alems from cash/construction. Gonna rattle off a couple rounds, but his position is well known. RXWD is watching the second angle. You can fall off from there for just a second, but not long. With 3 shotgun shells in that M59, gotta be careful.
Oh, Alem's gonna rotate around right when they're trying to plant.
Oh no, he's gonna run on in. He's detected. He's able to do some damage, but shot from the side of Aces, and there's the retake. Rise comes around the corner and swings wide into that main staircase. Oh my. That honestly, if Rogue actually went for a server plant,
yeah,
that would have been a BDS win.
I feel like just that round alone, though, had more trades than the New York Stock Exchange. That was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Everyone who died,
or what?
Everyone who died pretty much got traded at some point. Like, it started with Corey, and then just started a train of trades. Fortunately for Rogue, though, they were much in their favor, partially because it was started by them with Corey. They just, I don't know, they out-traded again. Rogue winning gunfights is really paying off for them here. Like, that's a big factor in why they're winning these. However, now we switch sides. They've got to win those gunfights on defense.
3-3 on Clubhouse is no bueno for the defense, if you ask me.
Yeah, that wasn't the best record BDS could have hoped for sure.
Despite everything that happened with rounds that BDS had clear advantages in,
yeah,
Rogue was still somehow able to take rounds. I mean, even with a round, and you know, that push into bedroom gym with a default camera that was up pretty much the entire round. That was never contested. That will haunt me the next week.
I'll be dreaming about that, seeing through that default cam.
I'm sure. Honestly, I really want to know what the reaction of the coaching team sometimes from any team.
Yeah, Kripel's like sitting back there like, what are you doing?
5 seconds left.
It's exactly what I was
punching the desk.
I mean, sometimes we misunderstand what analysts and coaches do for the team, but a lot of their preparation is to allow the team to kind of make the right decisions. But once the game goes live, your effect is practically non-existent. You're more like a morale / maybe direct them here and there.
You have a little bit more influence in some ways during LANs because you can call for timeouts and then use those. But on the flip side of that, you can potentially talk to your team during the matches when it's online. You just can't necessarily see what they're seeing. You can just listen.
Yep. Well, I would assume that some teams obviously play in a team house, not really in
Yeah,
EU.
that you do get a benefit from a
You
team
have
house like that.
team houses. You have probably people that kind of stream to their coach.
Yeah, I mean, you have the whole like
POVs.
Dark Zero situation, for
Yeah.
example.
So those sorts of things, they can definitely give you advantages. But overall, your input can't be directly during the round.
Yeah.
You can talk about things, but it's not really your direct input. And you're not that sixth player anyways.
Yeah.
Shaiko's playing the Habana, an operator we've seen him do a ton of work on. Of course, the Type 89 is a great weapon to use, despite the fact that it's capped at 21 rounds in the magazine. Guman's going to be set down and spotted. RXWD a bit too slow here to react, but guess who gets the initial pick? It's Shaiko on the Corey. The Goyo eliminated.
Those Goyos, they're always dying first. They're like, I got my shields up. I can throw my life away.
It's like a castle.
I mean, with
Castle
the exception of
survival.
Butters. He doesn't seem to want to be the Goyo who dies first. Rips, though, still trying to keep his frag count up with a nice C4 and Renshiro, but traded back onto Rise from Alems.
Yeah, so that's blue now clear as well, unless Rogue want to put a player there. You'd assume that the split will happen where it's either two players doubling up into church, excuse me, or one player in armory, one player in church, one player in blue, or one in the back of armory holding on with two inside of church. This is basically the split that makes sense for this specific site. Shaiko's trying to clear through all those goo mines that have been set. He's going to walk into yet another one. It does damage. That's the annoying thing about Legion. As Legion mains, I think we can agree that the operator needs kind of a tune here and there, as more goo mines will be just hitting their feet. Another grenade set up by RXWD, as the first one will find one of the Goyo shields. And Hicks trying to combat through the X-Gyros hole that had just been opened up by the Habana. Rips finding Rafal. There's another one from Rips. Look at that tight angle that he's using behind the green box. And right as Shaiko turns around, it's Hicks to find him inside a church. Alem's last alive in the 2v1. But Rips collects one more. Insane plays there from Rips as he holds the line.
He saw that rating that we had for him at the beginning, and he's like, no more. It's like Hungry all over again. Just like I don't want to be seen as that guy that's like bringing down the team.
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be the reason why. Every time I look at the score, I see him die a little inside, a little more inside.
That's great.
I don't want to. No, that's.
Pro League karaoke.
I'd love to do that. Last time we did like a karaoke with people from Pro League was Invitational 2018.
That's crazy.
And
how
it
long
wasn't.
ago.
It wasn't even after the event. It was on something completely different.
Yeah.
And let's just say that having a bunch of drunk players in Taro
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs
is
as they can.
hilarious because we got Justin with us as well, and we started singing. What's the song? Strangers. You know the waiting. You know the song? What's it called?
I don't remember the actual title of the song for some reason. By Journey,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the title off the top of my head. I don't know why.
I don't know why. It always escapes me. I don't know. But yeah, there's a video, and I know maybe Marie is watching right now, and she will probably be posting.
Let's just don't stop believing. Obviously.
Don't Stop
What am I
Believing,
saying?
yeah,
Why
there
did
you
it take me so long to think of? I don't know. Probably because I'm watching people play Siege right now.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
crazy.
Attackers' objective
They are
is to locate
going
a
back to
bomb and
going to Cache. Sorry, as their secondary bomb site. Church, the primary. That was kind of the opposite of what we saw from BDS. But it was good to see that Rogue's still landing a lot of their guns. That was a weird way to. It's like he threw them out of his gun. It's like my trigger doesn't work. I'm just gonna throw them out the barrel.
It's the recoil from the Skyros.
Yeah. But no, it was good, especially from Rips, to see that they can win their gunfights on defense as well as offense. And that's really the biggest problem here for BDS, is again, Rogue winning a lot of those, sometimes when they probably shouldn't. When it's an advantage to BDS, they still manage to win them. So maybe, I don't know, just maybe BDS need to warm up their aim a little bit more before they play. Just throwing that out there, could be totally wrong.
Well,
Shaiko, though, doesn't need as much. He's the player that least needs to warm up his aim.
The man is always ready. Wakes up at 6 in the morning. He's ready. He warms up with
He
team.
even wakes up, he doesn't sleep.
Doesn't sleep. He has a laptop even when he's sitting in bed, just to play T-Hunt before I go to sleep. It's your
With a trackpad, just to make sure he could do it all. I don't think that was cooked as much as you wanted it to be.
No, but it went to the wrong angle pretty much. There was no drone to guide it.
Yeah. He didn't have the good intel for that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the Valk that's been spotted. Lem's gonna set himself up for this, and they're giving him information, but you gotta deal with the Valk.
Look at this, he's just dodging everything.
Oh no, yeah, don't lose that gunfight. RXWD is gonna look at the amount of drones. What is this?
No, everything just swarming him to try and get that kill. I mean, I hope that was worth it. You did kill Hicks, but you're starting to drain on time. However, minute 30 left in a 5v3 is still pretty good, especially if they could take out Rips on that Maestro.
Good grenade from RXWD to deal with any bandit batteries that might be put at the last second. Would have killed the bandit regardless if he went in for the trick.
And now they've got the wall open. They've got the man advantage. Now they just need to play the right angles and not get slaughtered on their way in.
Bomb located by attackers.
This is where they slow down and drone some more.
So, as you say, Shaiko is going to drone into construction. He keeps moving his mouse all the time.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to find one player, and that's Aces rotating back onto the site. As right now, the only thing in Rogue's mind is turtle, and hope to God that we can hold against this onslaught.
Again, they win a lot of gunfights they should, but Rafael has, managed to pick up Rips, who was kind of fragging out last round. Rafael, though, low health now, as is Aces.
There's a nitro cell to be used, but you can't watch every single angle, and there you go. There's just not enough HP. LMs comes in and smacks the last two down. It's BDS victorious for round number 8. We're really going the distance in all of our games today.
They're good. Well, I mean, it's close matches. It's good matchups today. BDS really just firing on all cylinders that round. You saw it from the swarming on Valkyrie, just a lot more coordination. And again, winning those gunfights, taking out Rips early, who seems to be doing quite well for his team, really seemed to put a hurt on them. We're not seeing as much fragging as I would expect, honestly, from Corey and Aces. I mean, there's still some coming out. It's just, I don't know. I would have expected them a bit more over Rips. But hey, it's good to see Rips is having a good day. They're going to try cash one more time. As I'm sure they think, well, there was some misplays early on that cost us a lot of positional advantage. So if we just play it smarter, better this time, we can do it. BDS will, of course, try and beg to differ. Pretty typical setup in terms of operators and utility here. They will have the bandit for the walls. Could even have the bandit set up on the garage walls now that he's down there reinforcing if he wants to, but very likely he's just going to reinforce those and then head on up. You see one ADS actually in a different position on the rafters than we saw the way BDS were playing it. No, Rogue is going to place a battery down there on just the wall that they want to make sure you don't get the angle. Now, for those of you who are unaware, that wall, the garage wall, that is electrified right now. The reason for that is that one, if you hit a Habana towards the top corner of it, the top upper left corner, thank you, Marcio, that will offer you an opportunity, an angle up towards the window. It also offers that then try and catch anyone rotating in or out of that window, puts a lot of pressure on them, and helps with your entry into garage. You see that common enough to dedicate a bandit battery to it. Rips there with 12. So he's definitely bringing the pain for his team.
Slow start here for BDS, as by this time the past few rounds you've seen them entry with a frag. And I'm pretty sure that Chaiko's definitely looking for this one, or for one early on. Keeping up with his drone. And they're checking just in case there's somebody in blue again. Last time was the Valkyrie. And they're going to lose the drone here coming in, but Chaiko wastes no time and pressure in from the lobby. And there is one player downstairs, as you can tell. That's Rise, taking half damage. He does have a bulletproof camera, so I wonder where it was set. The Maestro is, of course, playing inside of Garage, but honestly, Maestro in Garage is a great thing, but the fact that you just take damage for free and you can't heal it back is not great. This is why we sometimes see the Doc, and RXWD is going to find Aces as the first kill. Of course, cooked correctly there with a grenade. Should allow Rafal to use his thermite charge, yes indeed. So it was well baited in the previous round. They weren't able to find the bandit, but this one, able to trick him themselves.
Yeah, definitely a good initial kill there, especially with Rise being low on health and about halfway. If they could find the kill on him as well and turn it into, again, a 5-on-3 with wall open, it was a very strong position for them last time, and they're headed that direction. But now, Rogue are turtling up a lot more. They're not giving away those freebies, not wanting to end up in that man disadvantage, so it's up to BDS to start opening things up. And Alems as well in low health could be finished off early.
What? Only one of the Excaliburs was zapped? Was that an evil eye that was set somewhere that we didn't see?
Entirely possible. It's hard to see what he didn't
One
actually
in construction. Yeah, it is in construction.
Okay, makes sense.
It's right around the corner by the workbench, but only one of them was zapped.
That seems like an
Why?
oversight. You almost want to like zap them in kind of a zigzag pattern to make sure it's not a usable hole for anything.
Well, they know there's one player behind him, and that's the Legion. Shaiko's chasing, and he should be able to win this gunfight. Yeah, Hicks in the sprint animation is going to get shot down. There you see the evil eye that was preset. It's being watched right now, but unfortunately...
Watching over his baby.
And they keep on firing. A lot of damage done to RXWD. Rai is going to be able to find one kill, but Shaiko, as usual, he finds the entry onto Corey. And it's a 3v2, actually. 3v1? No, they're all down. They're all down.
Trying to finish him off.
Oh, no.
What a round. Rogue playing smart, even after losing the Legion. Rogue should have been in a tough spot, but BDS just kept walking into the shots. Just unsure how to push. Once they had construction control, they weren't able to get enough freebies on their kills. And Rogue actually pulling ahead there. So now that they've won cash, they get to go back to church because it's been 2 rounds. Took them 2 tries. So they do not have to go to gym, something that we saw BDS suffer from once. So Rogue, again, winning gunfights and goo fights apparently as well, as there was quite a few players on low health at the end, so it was pretty quick sweep. Valkyrie over a Maestro. I suppose you get 1 extra cam that way, but...
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
see if
bombs
that
as
pays
they
off for them here. They got the Kaid, of course, for the hatches.
Goyo again.
Yep. It is definitely more common, it seems like, not as much on cash, but more so on church and gym. Especially in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that positions where you need to have a lot of shields, that you expect there to be just an instant dive in from a window or from a power position and then a direct plant. That's where usually you'll be seeing those Goyo Volcans.
Yeah, like I said, there's 2 ways to use them, and that's what makes them nice and flexible. Using them for area denial in 2 ways. Area denial from their explosion, like that one can be used for as well. Or area denial in terms of firing at them. That's what both of those can really be used for either or too. That's the nice thing, is they still work as a shield. Especially if you don't have your back position exposed. Let's say no one takes blue. Both those shields likely to stay very secure for a long time, unless someone tries to hit them with, say, a Zofia Lifeline. But directly hitting the gas canister, usually very risky to try and do. At least we know 1 default cannon goes down.
We're keeping count of those.
Right.
RXWD setting up one of his drones, and the second one will clear out kitchen. There's nobody in there. Checking every angle. Is there anybody upstairs? Check for any holes. It does happen. It's not just in, I say, people's usual like casual or ranked games, but this position is actually very scary to have like a vigil or something in it that's just firing at you.
Yeah. Definitely tough to deal with.
And Caveira that always ruins my rounds.
Right. Lems has taken a bit of damage early, which is not a great start for BDS on what should be a turtle defense.
We've seen a lot of Buck in play past couple of weeks. I think the operator is definitely shown to be very flexible. You have a lot that you can do with the Buck, and many players are running the Hollow just because, yeah, sure, you can train to deal with the recoil. That's not a problem.
You're going to be playing a lot of close range versus, like, the ACOG might work against you, and then you're forced to use the Scout Key for close range fights.
So there's the drone, and it does confirm that there is a reinforcement in the usual spot here to enter into the armory. So RXWD is going to smash the entirety of this wall to use himself later on, if this is a strategy in play. The Lems will be lost, though, by BDS, as Rise will be able to find him, and there's the Nitro that hits. RXWD is down, and last Skyros is going to be used by the attacking side there. I'm not sure if they have. We go back to the Thermite. I don't know if Rafal has any
Bomb located by
charges. Yes, he does, and there's 1 EMP that can help him in this one to enter into Church and pressure from there alongside Kitchen. So what's the play? The hole has been opened up so you can enter into Armory, but you need an entry kill. Ripsto will find Rafal. There's utility being thrown into Aces and the rest of Rogue, but Shaiko enters into the Armory from the side angle that was previously opened up by the Buck. Shaiko has Renshiro in support. Renshi's low on HP, Shaiko is on full. He pre-fires the angle, but Hicks wins 1 gunfight. There's the impact grenade, though, from Corey for the impact kill on Renshiro. Rogue on the cusp of victory.
It cost BDS way too many players just trying to get in. You lost Alems early, and then the follow-up C4. You shouldn't be in a 3v2 in that sort of situation. The old Pokemon call out there from Corey as he went for the impact kill.
Gotta catch 'em all.
They certainly did that round. They caught them all. And again, a great defense from Rogue. But now they are forced to go to Gym. So this gives BDS a small chance here to try and recollect their 1 point and head towards a possible draw. But we'll see that Goyo snuck into, and as opposed to the Pulse. So you're talking about Gym and Church. So going to be the sites, rather, for Goyo. Hicks likely to put up one on that bed, as there's generally a shield on that bed to be able to help fight into Gym, as well as to somewhat deal with the window that's right there next to the bed. Got the usual castle. We saw a bit of brave no castle play from G2 working out somewhat earlier. Only worked one of the 2 rounds, though, to be fair. 16 for Rips, looking pretty good. He's definitely having a great game. Right now they are sitting on this match point, guaranteed 1 point, as we like to reiterate, just to make sure you realize the stakes that are involved here, because they go from 1 to 3 by winning a single round. But BDS now no longer have the option of getting 3, and that is always worth noting, because it can affect the motivation of the team, what's at stake for them to play for in this case. But also, Rogue could get a little complacent. We've seen a lot of teams choke on match point. Droning coming out here to make sure garage is clear. May or may not drone rafters as well. So they do need to potentially pressure from the cache side, cache server, just because you really want that crossfire, especially if you're trying to push from the hot tub side as well. You don't want to be limited to a single entry point. And of course, you often see flanks come up from the main stairs, unless there's a solid enough room to push that back. It's a lot of work from Alems just to set up flank drones. Rashiro to be the one to actually drone server.
At least the wall is open, but there's still a second one to go through. On the site specifically, you don't really need too many reinforcements in the site itself, right? There's like maybe one of them.
Oh,
this entry
that blows up the shield with it, but then gets traded.
Unfortunate there.
He killed him for destroying his shield. The punishment.
Mine.
Yeah. It's not a rook mine kind of moment.
So at least Shaiko's out, which usually bodes well for any team that's
really
playing against BDS.
It does limit them to 1 hard breacher as well, but Alems at least takes down Hicks, so that's now a man advantage for BDS, if they can capitalize on it.
Not sure if that was a Goyo shield that
very likely.
Sophia just saw.
But I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't need to use utility against him, then don't. There's no reason. Ace is downstairs with Nitro Cell. He's waiting for any information from his teammates.
Definitely some juicy targets, but he doesn't know.
It's pre-placed. Rancher has not entered just yet. He doesn't know where the Nitro came from, so a Claymore there will be the best situation.
I'll put you down here and wait.
I come back and really work for BDS later in the round as Rips is taken down to 50% HP. Alems will finally start moving. He's already did a decent chunk of work. And RXWD, because you have a man advantage, BDS can pressure from the window. There's Goyo shield that was popped. Afal pre-firing around the corners. Alems is in support. Claymore will be set. So you're looking down in and spotting the castle barricade. The castle is actually sitting right in front of you. There's the Zofia hitting right into him. Oh no! Rise exposed. Alems will get the 2K. Rips is getting low on that smoke that he's using. Aces will find 1 kill, and there's the smoke. 3K for Alems. Aces will find 1 more, and the quad kill for Alems.
Alems just went off that round, getting so many shots from those 2 windows, the gym window and the bedroom window. Absolutely capitalizing on every missed position or distraction the rest of BDS was providing. And really, that's what worked out. The key thing to me is that BDS picked off 2 players early. And then with 3 left and a 1-man advantage and all the access they needed, they just played angles, constantly pushed little inches at a time until all of the members were in off positions, capitalizing on angles. Because, well, the problem with bedroom is you have to look too many different angles at once. You've got to worry about, are they coming from construction connector? Are they coming from logistics? Are they coming from main stairs? Are they coming from gym? Are they coming from either of the 2 windows in terms of angles? That is so much to watch that, yeah, those shields are very important, but they're only going to do so much for you, as you saw there, especially when there's a man advantage for the attackers. And that's why Jim is such a struggle. So many windows, so much access for the attackers. It's not unwinnable, but it's certainly difficult to fight. Rogue, though, still on that match point, but BDS can potentially win this attack. It's possible. They've won it before. One of the 2 times it's been played. So there's a 50-50 shot, according to that they draw this as opposed to letting Rogue win. Aces again, Bandit battering that one panel of the garage. Trying to deny the angle.
5 seconds
He's
left
also going to be
before
Bandit.
insertion.
Yeah. Oh, there's a nice shield there for Aces. I do wonder if that will have any impact on the impact, or rather the stun from Zofia.
We might end up in a tie in this one.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised at all. Look at the amount of work that Rips has been doing this game.
Yeah.
But
a few other players to highlight there as well, just in double digits.
who is it that those 2 players with 10 kills on BDS? Didn't quite
Yeah, Shaiko and Alems. Makes sense. Saw Shaiko with a lot earlier and Alems with a lot lately. He's been doing well. Zofia's in general been doing well in this match.
I mean, it's a great operator that gives you a lot of flexibility.
It really kind of has replaced Ashe most of the time.
Yeah, understandable. Again, a reminder that Alems is playing the Zofia with no angle grip. And when we talked about this before, rate of fire is king and key in a lot of times.
It's just because they're playing a lot of angles where he's already got the angle part of that grip.
Exactly.
He doesn't need the speed on the ADS.
Exactly. So
That's the difference, though.
It's not like he's playing it like an Ashe where you're mostly the one that's dictating the pace and really being the aggressive player.
You're more like a bulldozer in your role.
Basically. There's the EMP out, and there's no Bandit to deal with these charges.
Well, he's going to deal with Shaiko instead. That was kind of worth it, I guess, letting the wall get open and then taking down Shaiko. Worthwhile trade from Aces.
Great kill there from Aces. The Nitro Cell has already been expended. Just got to be careful about that. The grenade will bounce over, and RXWD will get nothing for it. It's going to get pre-fired by the Bandit. He knows there's something fishy is up, but Aces will retreat for now, and no damage will be done to RXWD.
Finally turning off the jukebox. Thank you. I like how he's like on a roam and still going to give himself a way to turn off the jukebox.
Yeah, you can keep it up. It kind of helps you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it works like a whole. It works both ways.
That was so perfect. Double stun in, and the grenade should land. There you go.
There
That's
we
just to
go.
make sure there's no ADS around the corner, as it's a very common strategy when it comes to that garage defense. That's a smoke. And why the smoke would be in that position beats me. But there's the card. It's spotted as well by RXWD, and Lems will open up the doorway to enter the garage.
Now's where things slow down a little bit. Now they have some positional advantage. They have some utility left. You see one impact lifeline as well as some skeleton keys and things like that. Alem's still hitting his shots on Hicks. Now they have man advantage as well, so they just need to slow pressure on the site and make sure they don't push themselves in a compromised position. Also take advantage of the soft walls as Renshiro wins
Round's
2
over.
good fights. That's it.
That's it. BDS just collapsed onto the site, as has been the case on their attacking side. BDS break down one player after the other with a game that ends in a draw. No one victorious means that we don't get an interview, unfortunately, but that's finally now BDS able to get that extra point. Puts them at 4.